also we've had a view to be what's happening overseas, to see the way the overseas markets have developed with their horrendous rates of spam, enormous number of scams that have been happening on premium services overseas. Thankfully we haven't seen that here in Australia because of the very strong proactive stance by the industry, by the carriers, and also by the regulators who have assisted us in driving this strong regulation through.
Why is it the spam hasn't been able to get through on Australian phones? Wouldn't it simply be as easy as setting up a server in an Eastern European country or Asian country? As simple as sending email spam?
Yeah, look, it's easy to do. You could send out spams tomorrow. We're lucky that we are regulated. You know, we've got fines of up to $10 million a day for spamming a mobile device. We've got Privacy Acts, we've got Spam Acts, so we've got solid government involvement. We've also got very keen carriers, 6 carriers who don't want to see spam arrive on people's handsets. And again, we have a proactive industry. We do have concerns that there are overseas players trying to do some or replicate those services that they've run overseas and bring them into Australia. That is always a worry, and you know, we've seen some of those evidenced of late, but I think the industry wants to ensure it's got a future, and that's vital. Moving
into marketing, David, what are some of the issues that marketers are thinking when they're putting together a marketing plan that involves mobile? Does it have to integrate with other communication pieces, or is it something that's standing alone for a lot of advertisers?
I think initially people viewed a campaign, a couple of years ago people said, oh, we're going to run an SMS campaign. These days it's a little different. They look at SMS as another integrated channel that they need to offer to enable their consumers or consumers to communicate with the brand. So it is very much a channel, and it should be used in conjunction with other media. If you think about, if you talk only about SMS, up until recently was 160 black characters on a green screen. It needs support of either print or the web or some other media to assist it and get the message through. In certain campaigns, you know, if you're running an outdoor campaign or an instant reward campaign that's on a premise, for example, the McDonald's Sit, Flip and Win campaign was very successful. It was an SMS campaign and a web campaign, but 88% of consumers entered via SMS, and most of them entered when they were sitting down enjoying their Big Mac and their drink. And that's the type of media SMS is. It allows that instant reaction. But if you look at, say, many of the TV campaigns or any FMCG campaigns, they all use a range of channels. And that's really important too. Doing an analysis of television and all the different levels of interaction on television over the past couple of years, people say, so what's the response rate? It'd all be, you know, pretty much now 100% SMS, wouldn't it? People wouldn't be using that old fangled 1900 services anymore. Well, it's not true. And it varies per show. We see some shows running up to 70% SMS and 30% 1900, and we see shows that may have a slightly older demographic or more of a country demographic. For example, Dancing with the Stars that ran last night, it's pretty much even SMS and 1900. So it's very important to get those channels right.
Are there still a lot of advertisers that are testing SMS, would you say, or are the case studies already there for them to make it a part of a campaign, if you will, an ongoing campaign?
I think those marketers that haven't experimented with the channel are probably still considering that they're testing it per se, but the channel itself is well tested now. There have been so many successful campaigns. The results compared to other direct marketing means are quite staggering. And so I think we're at a test phase. I think the marketing industry has accepted the channel, and I think we've moved from babe in the woods to an accepted part of the marketing mix now. Be nice to have a little more of the allocated budget devoted to this channel, because I don't think people have been creative enough at the moment with what they can do.
This must be something which is quite difficult to measure because there are so many pieces involved in putting together a campaign, but what is the industry worth? It's worth?
Very, very hard to suggest what the market's worth, because there's campaign fees. There's all those fees that are below just sending and receiving an SMS message. So it's very hard to scope. In fact, ADMA's currently doing some research to try and put some scope around the size of the industry. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd put it anywhere between 30 and 50 million currently.
So still an emerging, it's probably about 0.5%?
It's still very much emerging, and we're going to see that, I think, dramatically change over the next 12 to 18 months. It's been fuelled by a number of factors, I think, which are going to really drive the industry forward.
So what are those factors, do you think, that are going to drive the industry forward? Is it going to be uptake by advertisers that aren't using SMS already, or greater use by existing advertisers? Combination? I
think both of those are really important. We're going to see new marketers get involved. We're going to see other business users get involved to increase the acceptance. So I think we're seeing Jetstar and Qantas with SMS ticketing. We're seeing call centres use it to organise appointments that are convenient to the customer. We're seeing a whole range of desktop applications come in, from Outlook to SMS. We're seeing content being driven to the phone as well in terms of ringtones and logos. But what is going to make the pivotal step is customer training, getting the consumers au fait, if you like, in how to use SMS. And not just SMS, it goes beyond SMS into all the new technologies as well. And this is going to be driven very much by an uptake in handsets. Australia has recently caught up, and we're changing our handsets now quite quickly. The carriers have got their act together in that these handsets are now walking out of the shop, and they're walking out working. So now you don't have to do anything to connect your phone to GPRS or MMS. It's already done. And that's a quantum step forward for the industry, because it means that all these handsets out there are now connected to the mobile internet, and they can start sending photos and browsing websites and things like that. And that means that a lot richer information is available, and it also means that a lot more of the population of handsets have got access to richer material, meaning that marketers can do more than 160 characters black on a green screen. We can start doing some innovative campaigns which include pictures, audio, video, sound, moving images, etc., which really gets exciting.